What's going on, guys? My name is James.
I'm Tony.
We're YouTube Creatives.
Today we're talking nighttime photography using low light sources.
Roll intro.
Welcome back, guys. Nighttime photography. I've been wanting to do it forever. Last night we recruited my stepdaughter and niece. They helped us out with some photos. I think you're gonna find them cool as shit. It was my first time.
YouTube friendly, man. Kid friendly.
With it being July 4th, we wanted to keep it simple. We're thinking about people being out in their own driveways, letting off fireworks, doing sparklers. Maybe they want to do some light trails or whatnot, some cool family photos to capture. We had a blast, man. I've been wanting to do nighttime photography forever.
Now, usually when the sun goes down, photos usually cease for most people. However, in my case, night photography is actually my favorite kind of photography. I find that when the sun goes down, a new world opens up and you guys can find so much more cool stuff. And not only that, it's super unique usually because not a lot of photographers actually do night photography. So if you guys are looking to set yourself apart a little bit, this might be one way to do so.
All right, guys, some basic things that you're gonna wanna do when you're doing this nighttime photography is you're gonna want the basic tools. If you're doing long exposures, you wanna do some light trails or something like that, you've gotta get the camera stabilized. Doesn't even matter if you have a big tripod or even something like this. If at all possible, get yourself a remote trigger for that shutter so that you're not touching the camera because you're gonna have that shutter open for a long time. So it's gonna pick up any vibrations or anything like that.
We have some extra lighting here. Anything external that's battery powered, it gives off a lot of light. You guys can use something like that. Another thing are lenses. That's another topic that a lot of people forget to mention when doing night photography. You wanna get something that's really fast.
Let's take a moment and try to explain. Maybe there's some out there that don't understand what you're talking about by fast. So basically what James is talking about is your f-stop. So the lower the number, the larger the opening. The larger the opening, the more light is allowed into the camera. So at night, when you need that light, the wider that you can open that aperture up, the more light you're gonna let into the camera, which is gonna take better photos.
Now, it's not saying that you guys can't use a lens that's not that fast. You guys can use whatever lens you want. You're just gonna have to adjust your settings accordingly.
And what you'll need to adjust is that shutter speed. The longer you allow that shutter to be open, also the more light that's gonna be coming into that camera. I set my ISO at 100, my f-stop at 1.4. What I end up doing is just using the shutter button, and I was just counting off at different intervals. You can program them to get certain intervals, but I was just winging it. So just doing 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds is basically where I was finding myself.
All right, moving on to the gear, guys. I actually picked up a new camera. It's Canon's new mirrorless. It's their M50. It has really nice low light, so it came in handy. Another thing I have is the Yongnuo 35mm. It's f2, and it gets that really nice low light as well. Super shallow depth of field. And that 35mm for me is really nice because it's like that perfect mixture between landscape and portrait. So it came in super clutch last night. Came out with some really nice photos.
All right, guys, what I used the Sony a6500. Has great low light capability, and my Sigma 16mm f1.4. On all the sparkler images, I did use the tripod because I was on a long exposure. When we moved over to the LED lights, I went up to about a 50th of a second to reduce that shake and try to get some crisp, clear images.
Again, guys, if you don't have gear that's that great, if you guys are using even one of the lower end Rebel series, if you guys even have a T3i, don't be afraid to go out there and shoot. You can still get some really nice, clean, crisp images. Just try your best. The more photos you take, the better you're gonna get always.
So basically what you wanna do is you wanna tweak the settings, take your image and see what you end up getting. So slow that shutter speed down, open that lens up as wide open as you can get it. If you don't open the lens wide, say you wanna get more things in focus, you go up to 5.6 or higher, you're just gonna have to compensate that by opening that shutter speed for a longer duration. So basically you wanna just take the photo, see what your image looks like. If it's too dark, go ahead and let the shutter, crank it open, let it be open even longer. So you go from 1 second to 2 seconds. Just gonna make it longer, take your image, see how it looks. So you do some test photos like that, and eventually, I'd say with just, even for my first time, I was able to dial it in very quickly. I mean, maybe 5, 6, 7 pictures, I had it pretty much tweaked right in there where I wanted it.
It shouldn't take very long, guys. If you get out there and start tweaking a little bit, you'll get the hang of it really quick.
That's gonna wrap up our nighttime photography video. We had a blast making it. Hope you guys enjoyed it, found some value in it, learned something.
If you guys have any questions, make sure you leave them in the comments down below. Don't forget to smash that like button, guys. Also, share the video. It helps us out tremendously. That's going to wrap it up for us today, guys. My name is James.
I'm Tony.
We're YouTube Creatives.
We'll see you next time.